Welcome once again to Crazy Canuck Truckin'. Thank you everybody that's been following along on this little journey, and remember to like and share if you could please, and give me 5-star ratings if you feel so inclined. It helps get the ratings up there, and it helps get the podcast out to other people that wouldn't normally see it. So we're going to jump right into it today. Have a guest that you have all seen before, and you may remember Jacob from episode 40, 41, and his wife Carolyn, episode 42 and 43. I won't go back into those stories. We've already covered them. So please go back and listen to those stories of Jake and how he has got to where he is today. And I'll give a real quick snapshot. Jake is a father, husband, family man out of Lethbridge area, Alberta. He is a dryland farmer, cattle rancher, an all-around good guy. So welcome back, Jake. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me back. Had a lot of fun the first time, and hope to continue that today. So,
yeah, we might get into a little more serious stuff today. Well, actually, probably not as serious as your first episode. What am I thinking? You made a comment. I can't remember if it was on this show or on with Bridget sometime or whatever. You made a comment when you were going to buy another property and get bigger into feeding cattle. And your wife Carolyn made some comment, what are we going to do? And you said, well, if it doesn't work out, I've heard McDonald's is hiring. Is that always your attitude?
And it's probably more my attitude than, more often my attitude than not. But, at the end of the day, I had learned a long time ago that, we're born with nothing, we leave with nothing, we leave our legacy. And so anything in between is our lives. And so, it's for me, I like to be adventurous. I like to take chances. And so, if the things that matter to me, my legacy or my family, as long as I don't lose them, everything is for sale, or I'm willing to put up for risk. So I've kind of lived that life. I enjoy that side of it. And when I'm losing money, I don't like it, but I know it's going to make me better. And when I'm making money, I really enjoy it, but then I get cocky and I lose it. So, yeah, but yeah, it's mostly my attitude, I think. So,
on a lighter note, we heard about somebody today in Washington State that when you're talking about selling everything, he was selling stuff he didn't even have to the tune of like 240 million.
That takes a ballsy move. He admitted that he had a gambling addiction. I'm not saying I have one, but as far as I know, I don't know anybody 240 million of cattle I don't own or have. So, yeah,
that's
it's crazy how we allow things in our lives to really steer us in directions that we probably wouldn't otherwise do. And I'm sure he's at heart, he was, from the stuff I read, he was a good guy, and he was a community supporter, and his employees loved him, and he built lots of relationships, and he made some mistakes that cost a lot of money, but at some point in time you just got to own up to it, and if you can't own up to it, the hole gets deeper and deeper, and then you end up where he was at, where he lost everything, including his reputation, and his legacy is obviously going to be tarnished because of it. So,
and his freedom. He's
for 11 years. So
he'll be locked up for a bit.
No, for 11 years, he's going to be a guest of the government of the USA. So,
yeah, 3 meals a day, all the boyfriends you want.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, no, I've been told I'm too pretty to go to prison, so I should stay on the straight and narrow. So,
now, who's telling you that? I'm not sure about that, Jake.
Well, I didn't.
How much did you pay your wife to say that to you?
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know if she would say it, but yeah, no, I had a customer say that. I said, "Don't worry, I'm not stealing your money," and he says, "You better not be. You're too pretty for prison." So I said, "Good."
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, that's good. So I wanted to ask you, you have a different perspective as well on when we come into different challenges in life, and if people remember going back, you almost lost your daughter. You grew up dirt poor, literally working in the dirt, playing in the dirt, escaping over borders, all that kind of stuff. Um, and you and I had a conversation the other day about things that we go through, and I believe we kind of share the same type of value here. When you come into a tough situation, what is your outlook with that?
I'd like to say I do this every time, and I'm really good at this, but it's I wish I did, but my philosophy has always been that in every situation there's a learning moment there, and even the hardest situations, and there's a learning moment there, and we're only on this earth for a brief period of time, and we're going to leave a legacy. And what's that legacy look like? And once you figure out what your legacy is going to be, and then you try to work towards that. And the tough times in our lives are the parts of our lives that shape us and that grow our character. And as much as we hate those parts of our lives, it's like going out in the gym. You work out and then you're sore for 3 days and you can't bend over and tie your shoes. But if you don't go out and work out, you're not going to build any muscle, and eventually you're not going to stay healthy very long. And so it's those tough times in our lives that build our mental muscles, and our spiritual muscles as well. And so that's important. It's nobody likes that, but it's important. And I think we were talking about when a lot of times kids die fairly young, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, and we think like that's such a terrible time to go. And it is. We expect everybody to live to the ripe old age of whatever, 100, 110. But I think if we all lived to that age, and we were guaranteed that, none of us, or most of us, would not do a good job in life, because there's some value to the uncertainty of the time that our life has, and that helps us be more cognizant of what's going on around us, and to also be prepared that one day we're not going to be here. And it could be today, and it could be in an hour from now when we're driving down the road and somebody cuts us off. We just don't know. And so I've seen some amazing legacies left behind by 11, 12, 13-year-old kids that have passed on, where the parents want to do something, and those kids did more in that time period on their legacy than a lot of adults do their whole lives. And so I never think that there's such a thing as a waste of time. It's the legacy that's left behind. And I think we can all think of some future or things that have gone on in the from one of these unfortunate accidents. And I know in our community we have like different things that are built and honored in these people's names, and those legacies live on for years and years and years. And so, but honestly, that's all we can leave is a legacy. So, and so that's you got to focus on that and work towards that. That's kind of my goal in life, is to leave a legacy behind. So.
Where did you, like, how did this develop in you, or is it something that has come natural to you, or is it something you've had to work with?
Well, over time, I'm one of those people that questions everything, and I like to look at things from a 10,000-foot view. So I'm a little bit odd that way, and my son's the same. So we have wonderful conversations. But I just look at life, and I see the existence of the human life on this earth pointless, other than to um, if there was a creator that had a point for us, but other than to I believe in a creator, and that we are here for a short period of time, and our souls are eternal. And but I had to come to that belief. And so in my search, I was looking at it, and I says, well, honestly, I don't know anybody 2,000 years ago, 1,500 years ago, 300 years ago. What purpose did they serve? And so I just looked at the human race and said it's a pointless race. They're self-sustaining, selfish. beings that only really care about themselves, and they eat up resources in order to sustain themselves as long as possible, and then they die and the next generation comes and does it all over again, and I've done this for years and years. And so, and again, like I said, this sounds really weird, but this is just who I am. And so from that, I just started drawing conclusions. Okay, so what is the point of my life? What am I going to do? And so maybe I can leave a legacy for the next generation that comes. And so when I buy land, I never say it's my land. I just say I'm currently looking after this piece of land. It was here before me. I didn't create it. I'm not going to take it with me. It's not mine. I'm just a steward of it at this point in time. And so my thought process has really gone in that direction with everything. And so anything that I can't take with me past this life, I don't know, and it's mine to use temporarily. And so that's sort of how I think. I don't know.
I when I look at my children, I have thought about this for a long time, for many years since the time they were very little, is that they aren't actually my children. I'm just allowed to borrow them for the time that I'm here. And for me, it's made a difference to look at it that way. That my children are something very special to me, but they're not really mine. I'm just getting to have them, and they have my name right now. But my opportunity is to do my best with them and to help them out and grow into the people that they're meant to be. And to me, that's kind of where my legacy is, not so much the name, but what I can pass on. The same thing, what you're saying with when you're gone, people can look at the person that was and how they grew over time and changed through all the tough situations. I love doing this podcast because I get to talk to a lot of people that have been dealt a pretty lousy hand in life, if you look at it that way. But they've become amazing, strong people
Oh,
and have
for
learned so
sure.
much.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I think. It's like you look at people like Terry Fox, for instance. Everybody knows who Terry Fox is. Was Terry Fox dealt an amazing hand in life? And but what did he do with that? He left a legacy.
Yeah,
And we all know who Terry Fox is because he decided to create a legacy and to do something about it. He didn't say, "Woe me, everybody come over here and pity me." He says, "I'm going to do something for the future generations." And what could he have imagined the day he started his walk across Canada, that for the next 100 years or however long, people are going to remember his name and honor him? Probably not. He probably was hoping to raise a few $1,000s and some awareness. But if you set off to be famous and leave a legacy, that's really big. A lot of times you're probably not going to make it. But when you humble yourself and you just do it for the right reasons, people notice that, and people want to get behind that. But how many people are dealt bad hands that just sit there and say, "Woe me," and then you think of all the people that have been dealt bad hands, that become just absolutely amazing, and at leaving legacies and changing other people's lives. And so I don't know. I just love it when people are like that, and I think we all do, right? So we
yeah,
get inspired.
yeah, absolutely. We get inspired. You see little kids in cancer wards. You spent time in the hospital with your daughter, and your daughter, um, I've met her in real life. I've met all of your family in real life, and your daughter, I mean, she's amazing. All your kids are amazing. Your family's amazing, but the attitude that she's had and the fighter that she is today is just mind blowing to me. You know?
Yeah, no, she's a tough little girl, and but she's had to learn that, right? and
Yeah,
and and the thing, we spend a lot of time together and we talk about this quite a bit. And you can either sit here and be, woe me, notice me that I have an issue, or you can just be an inspiration. and I promise you'll love being an inspiration way more than anything else. And I've had so many of those people come into my life. Like we were building houses down in Mexico for the poorest of the poor, and when I say a house, it's a 20 by 20 foot garage package on a concrete slab. And anyways, I was actually building wheelchairs for handicap people. And so what it was is like a normal wheelchair in Mexico in streets with deep ruts, people fall over and then they can't get up till somebody comes and lifts them up. So what we were doing is chopping off the front end of a BMX bike and building that on the bottom and on the front of the wheelchair, so that you had this like bicycle wheel out front plus the regular wheels. And so we're building this for a lady, and or I was anyways. And so when we delivered it, she's living in this little shack. Basically it's 3 sheets of plywood on a cement pad, so it's like 4 by 8 feet, and with some cardboard as a roof. And she's like 23 and looked like she was 45, and had a pail in the corner for a bathroom because she couldn't go to the bathroom in the outhouse because she didn't really have legs. She couldn't see very well. Like if she were to make a needle and thread, she'd be like way in front of her trying to thread the needle. But she would make bracelets with your name on it and sell them at the local market for, and to try to feed herself. And I just thought, like, she swept the floor by sliding her butt across it and using a little broom. She would make these bracelets and then get to the market and sell them. Not once did she say, "Whoa, me." She said, "What can I do to sustain myself and help my husband?" Well, he's out in the field. And just things like that inspire me, because here's a person that could just sit around and say, "Take care of me." And I've been dealt a terrible hand, but she didn't. She just, worked. And so we went and got her some glasses, and the amount of joy that just the glasses brought her, like, I will never forget the tears in her eyes when we put some glasses on her face and she could see. And to her, it was the greatest gift in the world anybody could ever give her. And to us, it was a couple $100 that, we're never going to miss, right? So
Yeah.
it's things like that that always inspire me to do it again and do it again. And so it's these little highs that I think I live off of. So
Who was the first real inspiration in your life?
Ooh, I think my dad has always been a big inspiration in my life. He's always been, he hasn't always been the easiest guy to get along with, but he's always been very much, be honest, be fair, work hard, and take what you get. That's pretty much all you can do. And so he always instilled that in us, and never ever do anything dishonest. And because you'll never gain long term from it. And so I think my dad's been a huge inspiration in my life that way. And he just loved to work and loved to provide his family. I mean, who in the world picks up 3 kids ages 9 to 5 or 4, I guess my sister would have been, and walks them across a border, for days in order to hopefully give them a better life? Like, that's just huge. Like,
Yeah.
to risk everything to hope that you would instill a better life in them. I just can't thank him enough for making that sacrifice. And I don't know how he came to that decision. I think I make a lot of bold moves, but I don't know if I could do that. Like, it's crazy to think about it. And
And
so,
you guys actually lost all your belongings too, weren't you?
oh
Robbed
yeah,
the first time you tried to cross the border, right?
yeah, well, yeah, we were down to just mom's purse and what we were wearing, and so thank goodness we had all our documents. But yeah, no, for sure, no, life is like I said, life has never been, I shouldn't say never, but it hasn't been easy for us by any means. But we've been prepared and seasoned to take on things. And I just watch, like, how many times in my life, like, whether it's a church or wherever, where God just says, "Okay, you're about to be tested. I'm going to put you through these things to prepare you, and you'll be fine."
Yeah.
And and whenever somebody tells me that, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready to go." And then when you're in it, it's like, "Oh my gosh, get me out. But at
Yeah.
the end, you learn from it and you move on. And I don't know of anybody that hasn't gotten stronger by going through these trials and stuff in their life. And like I said, none of us asked for them, and I think we should, but they sure do make us think and that. And so, at least for me,
Life
but
is not a video game where you can hit escape and restart, you know?
right, yeah, pause.
Yeah.
Need a
Control
break.
escape. Beep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a verse in the Bible for those that read Bibles, but um and whatever religion you believe in, that's fine. But for me, the verse that stands out that can be for anything is in James 1, and it's consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials. And that's how I try to live my life. I've been through some stuff, and to have that attitude that this is why I'm here. This
Yeah.
is gold doesn't get refined just by whatever. You got to dig it out of the ground, you got to beat it, you got to heat it up, melt it, get it out. you know nothing good has come very easy for anybody, really.
No, I mean, a diamond is made from a coal being under a tremendous amount of pressure, right? Like
Pressure, yeah.
the beauty is made and things like that. And I read a book not that long ago. It's called The Coffee Bean by John Gordon, and it's very short. It's 20 minutes. If you're ever bored, download it. And so basically, what it talks about is, the hot water being the environment, being that tough environment. If you put a carrot in hot water, it gets soft, and if you put an egg in hot water, it gets hard. And a lot of people are like that. You put them in a tough situation, they either break down like the carrot and they just get soft and they give up, or the opposite, they get bitter and angry and upset. And neither one of those are very desirable outcomes. But in both situations, the environment changes the person. But you have a third option, and that's the coffee bean. The coffee bean transforms the environment into something amazing. You put that coffee bean in there, and the hot water eventually pulls that coffee bean apart, but the coffee bean transforms its environment into something awesome. And I've made so many people read that, and it's like, you could be the coffee bean. And I tell people, be the bean, be the coffee bean. And
The
whenever they're
bean.
down, and transform your environment isn't going to change, but you can transform it into something amazing, or it can transform you. The choice is up to you. It's entirely up to you. And so I love living like that. Like I said, I wish I did it every day consistently, and my family could come in here and say, yeah, look at this guy, he's amazing. But they know that I fail as well. But knowing the knowledge and carrying it out is two different things. But I try really hard to reel back and be like, okay, I'm going to be the bean today. I'm tired of being the egg, or I'm tired of being the carrot, but today I'm going to be the bean. And so, it's those little things that I hold on to as important things. So,
I can just imagine Carolyn when you go up to her and tell her that she should be a bean.
yeah,
You may
yeah.
get
She
bean.
high fives me and says,
Yeah,
yeah, let's
yeah,
do
all right.
it. Yeah. She never says, shut up. Never.
More marital advice from Jake and
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. Right. So, uh, uh, no,
Yeah.
I always say, if your wife's being unreasonable and angry, just walk up to her and say, honey, I need you to calm down. And it works every time. So,
Yeah, either that or you sound just like your mother, right?
yeah, you sound like your mother right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Yeah.
wake up a couple days later.
Right. So, no, but
But
yeah, I think we joke a lot in our marriage. I'm not sure, how often she takes me seriously. She doesn't give me the silent treatment anymore because apparently I like it too much. So, um, and so she's figured that out, and so yeah, I think she just holds it in and deals with it eventually. But
yeah,
yeah, it's interesting anyway. So
she's you two are an amazing couple. All kidding aside, it it's fun being around you guys, and it's fun seeing how she can take a jokester like you and still live with you. And at least I can't see any of the scars on you No, the scars aren't visible right now.
No, she made a comment early on in our marriage is that I don't bruise, so I should remember that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so yeah.
Any let's finish this off with a little trip. What kind of trip this summer or outing event stands out in your mind from the last or since the last time we talked?
Um, Boy. Well, my wife and I actually spent some time in BC. We had a conference there, so we drove out to Penticton, Kelowna, in that area, and took our golf clubs and did some golfing. And we may have experimented with some wine tasting. And I had to drive, so she did more of the tasting and than I did. But yeah, no, we had a lot of fun and just spent some time together. And I think we still liked each other for most of the trip when we were back, so that was a good sign. And so we're already booking Mexico for Christmas, and then I think Egypt for March. So one of the things that we're blessed with is that our business has grown to the point where we can walk away, and we have amazing staff that we've developed using this exact tactic, is that um, basically let go and live your best life. And anybody that wants to be part of that team, we hire and develop, and so it makes a great work atmosphere. And so we really enjoy that side of it. So between work and personal life, there's, like I said, not every day is a rose garden, that's for darn sure. But um you got to have those days in order to, again, remind you the good days are coming, right? So you don't know
Yeah.
it's light unless there's darkness, and vice versa. And so everything is important. And like I said, we learn from most of it, sometimes a little slower than we should, and we're good with resentment and anger sometimes. But yeah, we get better as time goes on. And I was actually thinking about a time, I was probably first married. So I've been about 23, 24. My dad and I were working together, and we were farming. And my dad at that point in time had a temper, and I had an amazing temper. And the amount of times I would swear and throw things and just go on and on was unreal. And then one day I remember walking through the yard, and I just stopped and I says, "This is ridiculous. I still got to do all this work. And here I'm all worked up for nothing." And I said, starting today, I'm never going to swear again. I'm never going to get upset again. And I'm just going to figure out a way to do it. And, I don't know um, after that how many times I swore. Like, I still swear the odd time, but I just made a commitment that I wasn't going to be that guy anymore. And, I just watched my dad and my relationship grow from that. Like, we started getting along, we started making good decisions together, because we both weren't a bunch of hotheads. And I think that was, just making, and I don't know why I decided to make it that decision that day. And it was just one of those things, like, I'm done with this. We're not going to go down that road anymore. And I just watched how it changed him, because now we're not button heads. And yeah, I've kind of lived that ever since. Like, it's just one day I decided, no, I'm not going to be that guy, and love it ever since. So
That's amazing. That's an amazing memory to have and to see the changes that have happened in both of you, not just in you, but in both of you because of the action that you're taking.
yeah, well, I mean, I could still see it vividly. I could tell you exactly where I stopped in the yard. What the field looked like across the road, and how the sun beat on me. Like, I don't know. Like I said, it was just really weird. I was so mad at something, and I just said enough. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I was surprised at how easy it was for me to stop the anger and the frustration and that. Like, it was like a switch was flipped. So and so,
Looking
but
through a different lens.
totally, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
really want to thank you for coming on again, Jake. And
Wow, I hope somebody listens to this and either laughs at us or or learns something from it, or takes it and and spends it to that next part of their life, right? So
Yeah.
my goal is to inspire people. If they, if anything I've done is inspiring, worthy, or whatever, inspirational, and yeah, so hopefully it helps somebody.
Well, we're gonna have more conversations in the future. Uh, when specific topics come up, then I know I'll be calling you and trying to get you on the show again. You've
Maybe one day I'll
expressed a
go all
willingness
the
in
way
that
to
before, so
yeah, maybe one day I'll go all the way to Manitoba on purpose.
yeah. Well, you have family here, so you should actually come
Uh,
this way.
well, and
Or your
that's why
wife
I
has
don't.
family.
Yeah, well, I do too. So
Okay.
I've always said that my Manitoba family is a little crazy, so I don't go there very often. So, but no, they're good. I don't know why we don't go there. It's amazing how your life, what's focal at the time is what's casual and causal, and we focus so much on what we have here that sometimes we lose sight of all the other family we have around the world. So,
Well,
but as we're
when
getting older,
you're enjoying Chinooks in Alberta, southern Alberta, and all that warm temperature and melting snow and everything, we have it so nice here in January and February. We don't have to worry about mud. We don't worry about slush. It's just a constant, easy 40 below.
perfect, beautiful snow,
Beautiful
fluffy.
snow. The ice is grippy at that temperature.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
good thing is if you don't like a body part, you can leave it outside for a few minutes and it'll freeze off on you. Anyway, thanks a lot, Jake, and remind everybody to like and share and get the message out there. And appreciate everybody that has listened so far and for everything you've done for us so far. Thank you, Jake. Thanks to your family, Carolyn, Jesse, all the family there. Give them all our warmest greetings and hope things continue to go well for you.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Appreciate the time.